Today I'd like to talk about the concept of openness. It's just another way of expressing that we need to be walking in the light. We need to be authentic and genuine and real in our relationship with God and with others. Openness is really an attitude where we come out of hiding or come out from behind a barrier or a mask or a facade with the sins and the needs in our lives, especially before God, but also before those that are spiritually involved in our lives, so that these things can be dealt with, so we can be set free from them. In 1 John 1 verse 5 to 7, it says, "This is the message we have received from him and declared to you, that God is light and in him is no darkness at all. If we say we fellowship with God and walk in darkness, we lie and do not practice the truth. But if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another, and the blood of Jesus Christ, his Son, cleanses us from all sin." Now that verse confirms what we looked at in John 1 verse 4 and 5, where it says, "In Jesus is life, and his life is the light of the world." We said authenticity, or being real, happens in the realm above the line where Jesus lives, where God lives, and not in the realm of darkness. Now, first of all, openness, this concept of being authentic and genuine, walking in the light, is the basis of our fellowship with God. You can't walk in any degree of darkness and have true, meaningful fellowship with God, because God doesn't exist in the darkness. He exists in the light. So if you want fellowship with God, you need to step out of darkness into light. God doesn't want to fellowship with the pretend you. If you're hiding, what you present into the realm of reality is not the real you. It's from behind this barrier or mask. And God doesn't want to fellowship with the pretend you. He wants to fellowship with the real you. Now, when Adam and Eve sinned, God came to the garden. We see the picture of God coming to have fellowship with Adam and Eve every evening. And after they sinned, God calls out to Adam and he says, "Adam, where are you?" Now, that wasn't a geographical question. Of course, God could see that Adam and Eve were hiding, because that's what sin does. Sin hides, but the light reveals. So they were hiding. It was a spiritual question. When God said, "Adam, where are you?" Adam had been translated from the kingdom of light to the kingdom of darkness. He was no longer living in the realm of the light where God lives. And of course, that's what Jesus came to redeem, to restore us from the kingdom of darkness back into the kingdom of light. So that's where fellowship takes place, in the light. If you want true, meaningful fellowship with God, you walk in the light with God, you're open with God. That's where we have fellowship with God. So openness is the basis of our fellowship with God, but openness is also the basis of our fellowship with one another. When we are walking in the light, when we are being genuine, then we can be having true, meaningful fellowship with one another. If there's an issue between you and someone else, and you pretend that nothing's happened, then you are not genuine in your relationship with each other. It's just a pretense. But when you are being genuine, when you're being honest, when you're being real and open with one another, that's where true, meaningful fellowship happens. And it's important for us to find those one or two or three people with whom we can be that open with whom we can let our hair down, take our masks off, be vulnerable with, so that the principle can be established that we are living in the light. Now, that doesn't mean we have to go and find thousands of people and tell them all the needs and all the wants and all the sins and all the difficulties of our life. But if we've done that with the two or three people that we're accountable with, that we're in relationship with, that we can trust, then the principle is established that we are living in the light. And you will find that you will be the most comfortable with the people you've been the most vulnerable and the most exposed to. You'll be spoiled for the ordinary. May God bless you as you walk a life of authenticity and enjoy fellowship with God and with those people that God has placed around you. God bless you.